Hey everybody, I'm Ethan.
And I'm Jesse, and today we're going to be reviewing air pumps on Now Let's Review. So Ethan, the other day you and I were fixing a bike tire, and you were getting pretty sweaty using this guy. This is your typical stand air pump. And I was thinking, you know, it was kind of unrealistic that we were using one of these out in the field because, of course, is this going to really be strapped, you know, to your bike or something like that? Probably not. So we went to go look for a small hand pump like this, just so that way we would have one, and also so we can be more realistic when we're showing you videos that we do. And then I came across this thing, which is a battery-powered air pump.
Interesting.
And then we also found, I think a lot of people were probably already waiting for this, a CO2-powered air pump. And so I was like, well, we should test all of them and see which one is worthy of your dollar. So let's check it out now. All right, so first up is the air pump. This one that we bought is nice and small, comes with a little clip that can be attached to your bike. And of course, the way that it works is that it is powered by you. So we're gonna flatten the tire of this Fat Tire e-bike and see how long it takes to pump up.
This bike, by the way, is the Swift Zip. If you want to see our full review, click over here.
All right, so the first step is we're gonna let all the air out of this tire. Now, of course, in the field, there could be a number of things wrong with the tire, which means that you wouldn't be able to just pump it back up. But since all we're reviewing is pumps today, I'm just gonna pretend like you forgot to inflate your tire. All right, so we have flattened this tire. You would not want to be riding your bike on this flat a tire. And now it is time for the air pump of science.
Time for Jesse to put in the work.
Oh, I'm doing it?
Oh, I don't know. Now, I think this would be an ideal pump for if you just had a kind of low tire.
Right.
Not necessarily a completely flat tire. But you know, if you're sitting on it and you can see the tire compress a little bit, you want to fill it up just a little bit, this is probably what you'd want.
Yeah! I've done it. Whew.
Good. It only took like 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
But overall, ignoring how long it took, easy to use, simple mechanism.
I mean, you could probably fill 1,000 tires with this.
Right.
It's just a matter of you power. And so, yeah, if you need to stop and take a break, you stop and take a break. Is that inconvenient? Yes. And that brings me to pumps that I am looking forward to now after getting that workout. Battery powered pump.
Nice. All right, so Jesse, this tire that you've just worked so hard to inflate, time to let all the air out again.
Great. You hear that? That's my hard work.
That's Jesse air.
Doesn't smell as bad. All right, so we again have a flat tire. This time we're gonna be testing out this battery powered pump. So this pump is kind of cool. It comes with this tube extension. So you can pack it away. Comes with a little carrying case, so you could pop that in a bag. Doesn't come with any clips, so you can't be clipping it to your bike. It also has a bunch of different modes that you can configure. So you can set it to pump up a motorcycle tire, a bike tire, a ball, so if you're doing sports, or the custom mode, and that means you can, it says that it'll pump up to 150 PSI. Another cool thing about this pump is that it comes with this little flashlight. I think that's a nice little touch. So then, yeah, you take your tube, you screw that in, and that's nice because nothing is rigidly attached to the bike tube thing, and you have a nice screw-on cap. So if you have a regular bike valve, a Schrader valve, this screws right onto it. If you have the other kind of bike valve called a Presta valve, this has an attachment that screws right onto the end, so this works for both. But we're gonna put it through what is some of the hardest testing, which is going to be a Fat Tire e-bike.
So use of this one is pretty self-explanatory. You just screw it onto the valve stem and press a button and it'll start filling it up.
So I have a little plus and minus button here, and I can adjust what I want to set it to. I'm gonna set it to 19 PSI since this is a 20 PSI max. And again, I can stop and start it whenever I want. Big button in the middle.
Makes air.
It's an air compressor, which is pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to screw this onto the valve stem.
I don't think this will be faster than a regular, like old stand-on push pump, because that moves the most air, but this is gonna be close, I think.
Yeah, let's take a look.
It also has a current PSI readout on the screen, so you can see where you're at.
Yeah, that's cool. Nice. So we're just gonna kind of watch it go here.
Very big screen, honestly.
Yeah. It's a very big unit. I mean,
It is a unit.
it looked a lot smaller online. So as you can tell, this one is a little bit noisier than the air pump that I was using before. Yeah, I'm gonna call it there. 13.5 PSI is, I think, what I pumped it up to.
Okay.
So, I mean, that was a lot easier.
Yeah.
I just sat, I could have walked off.
Yeah.
Because it also has an automatic shutoff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I mean, I set it to whatever pressure I want it to do, and then it will pump until it gets to that pressure, and then it shuts it off. And it still says that it's on full battery. We've done some testing with it. We were able to get, I would say, a little bit more than 10 pumps out of it for a bike tire, like a standard bike tire. So that's pretty good. Let's go on to the next one, and then we'll compare all of them together.
All right, so the last one is the CO2, and really it's just the top part here.
So these little CO2 canisters come with what is called 16 grams of CO2. That's not very helpful. I could break out my high school chemistry PIV-NERT equation if I really wanted to. I'm not going to because I don't care. This is supposed to fill up your bike tire, or at least help you to do that. And this should be the fastest way to do it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be careful here because it might just...
Right. I'm gonna flatten the front tire again, and we're gonna see how long it takes to fill it up. Okay, so Ethan, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah?
I don't have the highest of hopes here.
No, why not?
I don't think that you can fit enough air in this canister to fill this whole bike tire.
Right, I mean, the physics just don't quite add up.
You could, maybe I'm wrong, so that's what we're gonna find out right now. I'm gonna screw this on, and then we're going to pump it up and see how it works. All right, so I have it connected. I'm gonna flick the thing, and we're gonna see if it works. Here we go.
Hopefully it doesn't blow up. Oh.
Whoa!
Oh my, whoa!
Oh, wow. Oh, it got really cold. Oh, ha.
Let me see.
It's,
Oh wow, that's like an ice pack. Wow.
oh my God. Hey, hey.
Is that open all the way? Is that
Yeah.
still open?
Holy crapamungo. Dude, it fucking worked.
I was not expecting that.
Okay, so this little CO2 cartridge is now spent. I'm very impressed by how much it was able to fill.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about the size of this compared to the tire just made me think that it wasn't going to work, but it clearly is under 100 PSI plus.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, definitely works.
Which is great. We have 3 working pumps. So the first one to compare is the hand pump. This was an Amazon bestseller, so
Yeah.
we decided to go with this one. Overall, it worked.
Yeah.
Was it annoying? Yes. It took a lot of work, but it's going to work forever.
Right, and that's no fault of the product itself. That's just the nature of having to use a manual bike pump like that.
Right. This is an unlimited number of refills without any having to worry if it's charged or if you brought any canisters.
Right.
So in that sense, uses number is like completely infinite.
I'd say it feels decent quality as well, and honestly, whether it's $12 or $20, I would say it's a worthy purchase, definitely something you should buy and keep with you if you're going for a ride. If you don't want to be like me and put this in a backpack and bring it along with you, I'd much rather carry that.
All right, so next on the list and moving up the price chain is the CO2 version. We got the CXWXC, which comes with 4 CO2 cartridges. We just used one of them.
Got 3 more left.
We have 3 more of them. In terms of size, if you only carried one of these with you, it is definitely the smallest. It is definitely the lightest. Overall, not a bad thing to throw in your back pocket if you're just going down the street. But of course, if you're going on some multi-state e-bike trip or just a regular old bike trip, this is only going to get you one use, and then you would need to carry
a lot more of these cartridges. So yeah, if this was your only one, you're gonna wanna have a bag full of these CO2 cartridges.
And that is gonna add weight. It's also going to add complexity.
Yeah.
So whereas this is gonna live, bolted to your bike, these are gonna need to probably live in a little satchel, and you're gonna need to have quite a few of them if you wanna go for a fairly decent ride where you're worried about popping tires. But overall, if you only wanted to carry one, it's definitely the smallest, lightest, and fastest. Which brings us to our last pump. This is the WooWind Smart Air Pump. It was one of the cheapest ones we could find on Amazon. This was $40.
Yep.
It can pump your tire up probably about 10 times. It depends on the size and shape of your tire. It comes with this tube. It also comes with a bunch of other attachments, so you could blow up like an air mattress with it if you went camping.
Or like a basketball or something that's got like a ball valve.
And it is charged with a USB-C input. And I mention this because a lot of e-bikes have USB outputs, which means that you could keep this thing topped up all the time, or in the case of an emergency, where you were e-biking and the e-bike still has some power, you could charge this back up and recharge your battery. I would say that this one is probably the easiest to use because you can set this to a certain pressure and then stop, whereas with this you have no idea. With this one you have no idea, and in fact you might overinflate your tire. You could pop your tire with this if you have a very small tire or if you used multiples of them.
Right.
I think that all of these are valid, but because I'm e-biking, this one's my favorite.
Yeah.
This one's my favorite because if I'm going to be plugging in my bike, it means that at some point I'm going to be heading to an outlet.
Yep.
And that means that I could charge this one up if I really needed to.
Yeah.
I do think that this one is an excellent backup. It's so light, it's so small, and especially with e-bikes, you have a million places to hide it on your bike.
Or just put it in a bag if you're carrying a bag with you.
Exactly. It's definitely a great last resort and something you wouldn't want to leave the house with. Again, we're going to post all the links to these products down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Now let's review.